טוב, בשעה טובה. We continue. בפסוק כ', פרק י"א. תועבת השם עיקש לב. The abomination in the eyes of Hashem are the ones that have a crooked heart. ורצונו תמימי דרך. And who are the ones that he wants, the ones that he likes? תמימי דרך, the ones that are temimim, have a simple path. Their ways are straight. Says the Gaon like this. The me'akesh, the one that has a crooked heart, a keshelev, is someone that understands he's doing wrong, and afal pichen he doesn't want to do teshuvah. That's the definition of a keshelev. Is someone that has the opportunity to do teshuvah and willingly chooses not to. Now, we have to be careful. We're not talking about someone that has a challenge, that has a yetzer hara, and he wants to, but it's hard. We're talking about someone that could do it, has the ability to do it, but conveniently decides that that's not for him. Which essentially targets a lot of people. Because a lot of us live a very convenient lifestyle that might not be aligned with the Derech HaTorah. And we say, listen, I'm not there yet. I'm not there. When I'll get there, I'll cross that bridge. Right now, I'm not there. Right? They can do teshuvah. They can change. But they conveniently decide they don't want to. That it's not the right time. Says Shlomo HaMelech, this behavior is to'avat Hashem. It's an abomination in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu introduced in the creation the concept of teshuvah and said, when you acknowledge that you did something wrong, and you let it go, HaKadosh Baruch Hu merachem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings mercy. He's merciful. What does that mean? By doing this, you bring upon creation mercy, the mercy of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So you help the equilibrium of creation and the behavior, a more favorable behavior of Hashem with creation by doing teshuvah. So by not doing it, you hold back the abundance of rachamim of HaKadosh Baruch Hu on creation, which leads to essentially more midat adin. So you are, by being selfish and compliant, a partner. You're associated to the itgabrut, to the reinforcement of midat adin in the creation, which goes against what HaKadosh Baruch Hu really wants, because Olam Chesed Yibaneh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted, HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world so that he can give Chesed. So you go against what really HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to do. And to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's an abomination. How can you, yes, support me, that adin against me that wants to give Rachamim? This is how HaKadosh Baruch Hu looks at someone that has the ability to do teshuvah and doesn't do teshuvah. Now again, we are not talking about someone that has a yetzer hara and that he fails. We have some people, we have everyone. Was we beg HaKadosh, please, Hashem, give me the strength to do teshuvah and change this or change that. That's not what we're saying. We're talking about someone. Not to be mekatreg on anyone, or not to, some people, they enjoy certain things. Yes? They enjoy sitting in a non-kosher restaurant and have pasta. Or they enjoy to be whatever. Okay? Not sniut. They cannot change. For sure they can change. Why you're not changing? I'm not there yet. I'm comfortable the way I am. But 1 second. So if there's the avera, now we're not talking about upgrading, and we're talking about someone that does an avera and willingly decides not to change. This person, by doing that, stops Midat HaRachamim from coming to the world, sides with Midat HaDin, and awakes a sentiment of abomination in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the flip side is, Uretzono temimei darech. Who are the ones that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants? And it's not wanting the way we want. Retzono temimei darech. The temimei darech, says the Gaon, is the one that is tamim im HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that doesn't, we know what tamim means, yes? That doesn't make too many heshbonot. He does what he's told. This is the halakha, this is what I do. I don't look for the loophole. I don't try to break the system. I don't like to outsmart the system.
Rabbi, isn't that like a fine line between tamim and tamim? Like tamim is like someone who just doesn't ask any questions and just goes straight on.
No, but that's not that. No, we're not talking about a naive or somebody. We're not talking about the tamim that is compared to the Baal Sechel. Tamim here is someone that is shalem, meaning he does what he's asked to do. Oseh mitzvot u'ma'asim tovim.
Interesting. The Sefaria uses the translation blameless. I mean, he does no wrong, basically. Just
yeah, but
there's
no, you don't have any man that doesn't sin here. We're not talking about robots. The pasuk says in Tehillim, Ashrei temimei darech ההולכים בתורת Hashem. The temimei darech are the ones that הולכים בתורת Hashem. הולכים בתורת Hashem. They follow תורת Hashem.
דרך ישר.
כן.
So we're saying that it's some. Sorry.
In the Kidvei Yad, he says you need to understand something. He says the Ikeshelev, not only they get punished, but it says the ground they don't enter the mechitza of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want them close. However, the temimei darech, the temimim, he says, how I become tamim? Yesod of the Gaon. Tatehila tamim b'maaseh. First, you have to be shalem in your actions. Meaning, you do what you're expected to do. Ve'achar kach b'machashava. And then you can become tamim in your thoughts. Because your action and your behavior is in check with the Torah. Now you have room to start working on your mahshava. And he said, and not like those who hide behind their thoughts and act against the Torah. And these are plenty. How many times we meet peace that me? God is in my heart. First, you have to be a good person. Be a good man. Forget about Torah, mitzvot, ma'asim tovim. First, you have to be good. You don't steal. You don't hurt. You don't do bad to people. Yes, it's okay. I don't eat kosher. It's okay. I don't. It's okay. I don't keep Shabbat. It's okay. I don't keep Nida. But at least I'm a good person. And I love Hashem. You know those people. I love Hashem. Hashem loves me. Right? They're in a honeymoon interaction with Hakadosh Baruch Hu, but they never did anything for him except to feel that they're in love. Says the Gaon. Says, no, the Tamim is the one that first has a foundation with Hakadosh Baruch Hu based on his behavior. You know, c'est chokhmah. Shachar is Shachar, Mincha is Mincha, Arbit is Arbit, Pesach is Pesach, Sukkot is Sukkot, Shabbat is Shabbat. Without machshavot, what is supposed to be done, this is what we do. When you're tamim there, you have a foundation to be tamim b'machshava. And that's tamim darech. Their path is tamim. Their journey is tamim. Because their actions and their machshava are tamimim. Ken?
No, how do the difference is that you think you are doing right, and the Yetzer Hara is conquering your machshavot. So how do you know if you are in which state you are?
Well, in machshava or in maaseh?
No, when we do maaseh, we don't go but says I'm trying hard, but the Yetzer Hara win this fight today, but I'm trying.
As long as you try, you're not Eikesh Shelev. You're the Eikesh Shelev is the one that doesn't try. He's the one that's happy with the way he is. I know it's wrong. I'm not there.
Okay.
And I'm happy with it.
This is who I am.
This is who I am. This is who I am. Don't try to change me. You know these people don't ask questions because you don't want to hear the answer. That's the machshava. I'm not saying that whoever says that is the Eikesh Shelev, but that's the machshava. So, and says the Gaon, the benefit of the Temimei Darech is that Kadosh Baruch Hu brought some klalim. Klal number 1, for example, like we said, yes, is that he said modeh u'modeh ve'ozeh v'yeruham. Concept of tzedakah, of chesed, of teshuvah mechila. Another concept, en HaKadosh Baruch Hu mitzaref machshava ra'a le'ma'aseh. If you have a bad thought, but it didn't lead to an action, HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not judge you for the thought. Aval HaKadosh Baruch Hu, mitzaref machshava tova le'ma'aseh. But if you felt like you wanted to do something good, and you didn't do it, HaKadosh Baruch Hu consider as if you did it. So now take that and plug it into what we said. Yes? Eikesh Lev is someone that chooses an action and does not want to have a good machshava. So he's rejecting the machshava tova that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to pay him.
He'll never get the tamim.
Forget about tamim. He's the polar opposite.
Yeah.
Tamim. So this is what that's the abomination. What do you mean? I want to give you sachar. I want to pay you reward on your good thoughts. And that you don't want. I'm good. I don't want to think that way. I'm good. But if you do, it's as if you did. So you're collecting sachar on the machshava tova. That's the person that wants to do teshuvah, but sometimes he's stuck. Oh, I want to wake up tomorrow morning and go to shul. I want to sit and learn. Or I want to stop speaking lashon hara. I want to stop getting angry. I want to whatever. Yeah, he wants to, but misken, the Yetzer Hara is strong. The fact that he wants to, Hakadosh Baruch Hu give him sachar on the machshava. The Ikesh Lev, even that machshava he doesn't want. So not only that he doesn't allow the rachamim of Hakadosh Baruch Hu to come by not doing teshuvah, he also doesn't want to benefit from the machshava Torah. A man like this is an abomination. The Temimei Darech, Hakadosh Baruch Hu protects them. Why? Because they try their best to do everything that's right, whatever, b'machshava, b'ma'aseh. But says the Gaon sometimes, not everybody has machshava, you always have machshava tova. Sometimes also the Yetzer Hara is in your head and tries to make you do averot. Yeah. But the Tamim is protected by his actions. Why? Because his behavior, right? How is he built? First, by behaving al pi Torah. So he's not going to change his behavior. He has a buffer that's called the routine. So that routine is hard to break, even though the machshava is tumultuous, turbulent. Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even if you have machshava lo tova, even if you have bad thoughts, yes, I'm not including them. I don't look at them. So that's the benefit of the Tamim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes care of his Yetzer Hara, right? In his benefit. And the Ikesh Lev, he takes care of his machshavot tovot, not to get them. אתה שומע? Our concern is, do we have a part of us in things that we are comfortable with that indicate that we're aligned with the Ikesh Lev? Because you can be Ikesh Lev on something very specific. It's not across the board. That's what Shlomo Amelech is coming to teach us and tell us. Introspect yourself and find out if there is within you Ikesh Lev, and understand that if you are, what you trigger in creation and what you miss out, and rapidly learn to change on applying the derech of tamim, the behavior of a tamim derech, which is what? To build a yesod through ma'aseh of tmimut, and then develop the machshava temima in that specific weakness. Any questions?
Maybe everyone has a part of Ikeshele in his behavior.
That's exactly what I just said.
Everyone.
That's exactly what I just said.
Okay.
Shlomo Amelech is coming to tell us each and every one of us need to identify, yes,
Which it is.
If it probably is, and we have to identify it, yes, and it tells us how to remediate to the problem. כן?
Rabbi,
Okay.
can you go back to
Yes.
the beginning when you said that chesed, sorry, when you said that teshuvah aligns with nature in the beginning?
Yes.
Do you remember? Could you just tie that in? Could you re-explain that part for me?
Well, again, the pasuk, the Torah tells us, Hakadosh Baruch Hu tells us, "Modeh, Chachamim, u'modeh ve'ozev yeruham." Yes, if you let go, if you acknowledge that you did something wrong, and you let go of it, yeruham, Hakadosh Baruch Hu is merachem. What does that mean? That means that you bring upon you and upon creation the rachamim of Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Now, when a person that chooses not to do teshuvah, that's somebody that's monea, that's stopping rachamim from coming to the world. Because if he would do tshuva, he would bring rachamim. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world that is existent through midat chesed, right? ברא הקדוש ברוך הוא את עולמו במידת הדין. First he created the world במידת הדין. ראה שאין העולם יכול להתקיים, so that the world cannot exist only with מידת הדין, צירף מידת הרחמים. Right? He added the rachamim. So what keeps the world going and sustainable is the rachamim. So when you do teshuvah, you're a shutaf, you become a partner of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the creation and sustainability of the creation. But when you're monea, when you stop, when you forbid rachamim from coming because you don't want to do teshuvah, then you become an oyev, you become an enemy of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in his own creation.
With the energy that he gave you.
Yes.
So more than that.
Exactly, your mored, the boged, that's bigida. You stab him in the back. You use what you are him, and you use what's in him that's in you to go against him. Nachon. This is why it's called an abomination. Good. Pasuk Kaf Aleph. Yad liyad lo yenakeh ra. Hand in hand, the bad will not be excused, will not be cleaned. Bezera tzaddikim nimlat, and the descendant of the tzaddikim nimlat will be safe, are saved, is saved. Yad leyad, hand in hand, lo yinakera. Right? Kadosh Baruch Hu does not clean. What does that mean? Lo yinakera will not clean the bad. He will not escape the bad. Says the Gaon, somebody that does ra, that does bad, cannot free himself or save himself from the concept of yad leyad, from hand to hand. What is yad leyad? Midah keneged midah. Will be subject to a midah keneged midah on that bad. Bezera tzaddikim nimlat. But the descendant, the offspring of the tzaddikim, is saved. What does it mean? Here, Shlomo HaMelech is addressing the responsibility we have, the generational responsibility we have. It says Zera Tzadikim, the descendants of Tzadikim. Meaning, who is saved from the midah keneged midah of an action that is bad? Somebody that is Zera Tzadik, an offspring of a Tzadik, but not stamina of offspring. Tzadik ben Tzadik. When you're a Tzadik ben Tzadik, the midah keneged midah of Ra does not apply on you. What does that mean? The pasuk says, "Poked avon avot al banim ve'al bnei banim al shilishim ve'al rebeim." HaKadosh Baruch Hu can pay punishment for generations. Hashem yishmor otanu v'yatzilenu. However, and that's midah keneged midah. Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't mean you did, as a person did something bad that he's going to takotak, he's going to pay now. Yes, but the ra can come back 1, 2, 3, 4 generations. Says Shlomo HaMelech, if you are, but if you are a tzaddik ben tzaddik, then that ra cannot touch you. But if you are not tzaddik ben tzaddik, then that rule can apply. You can be tzaddik ben rasha, so you will be subject to the outcome of midah keneged midah for the ra.
It's a very high standard, Rabbi.
I'm sorry?
That's a very high standard.
To be tzaddik ben tzaddik? Nachon. It's not even, we're not even stopping there. Wait. This is why there's a general responsibility. Now, he says the Gaon, this is the difference between tzaddik v'tovlo and tzaddik v'ra'lo. Tzaddik v'tovlo, a tzaddik that has a good life and everything is good for him and well. That's because he is tzaddik ben tzaddik and therefore not subject to midah keneged midah of the ra that came before him. But tzaddik v'ra'lo, if you see a tzaddik that suffers and that undergoes pain, is because he's not protected from the influence of the midah keneged midah of the ra. Why? Because he's not tzaddik ben, he's tzaddik v'ra'lo. Tzaddik ben rasha. Now says Shlomo, says the Gaon, if you pay attention, Shlomo HaMelech doesn't say Vezera tzaddik imlat. The descendant of the tzaddik will be protected. He says Vezera tzaddikim in plural. The descendants of the tzaddikim.
You need multiple generations.
Arba dorot, he says. Why? He says we have a haftacha. לא ימוש תורה מפיך ומפי זרעך ומפי זרע זרעך עד עולם. The ad olam comes when you secure 3 generations of Torah of tzidkut. So he says, "Vezera tzadikim." Zera is 1. Tzadikim mi'ut is 2. That's 3. Right? That's 3 generations. Nimlat, the 4th one is Nimlat. So says the Gaon Mivilna, the same way the punishment of midah keneged midah can apply fourth generation. To break that, you need to have a fourth generation of tzaddikim. Now, nobody that says that tzaddikim are people that never sinned. We've addressed many times the concept of tzaddik and what it represents, which means that essentially, if we want to break the influence, the negative influence of previous generations, it is our obligation to make sure that we educate our children, we educate our grandchildren, and if we have to, our parents, and influence them to be b'derech HaTorah so that we can link 3 generation, 4 generation of Torah, of tzidkut.
Why
Yes.
doesn't it talk about Benoni? If they say we are all Benoni, it
In
goes
general,
from black to white.
Yes, Paul. So let's not forget that Shlomo Melech is talking to everybody. Yes. So if you want to cover everything, you bring the 2 polar opposites and you find yourself somewhere. If he speaks about the Benoni, he forgets about everybody else. The Benoni is very specific. Alvaya and we are Benoni. That's already Hasidut. The Baal HaTanya, etc. בסדר. The Gemara in Masechet Kiddushin. אני שומע. But Shlomo HaMelech wants to talk to everybody. So he gives us, yes, the wide spectrum of things.
Tzaddikim doesn't mean someone.
Yes.
The tzaddik doesn't mean someone that didn't sin, but rather, how did you explain it, tzaddik?
No, that we spoke at length about the definition of a tzaddik. Milashon tzedek, tzedakah, right? We've addressed that many times. Ken?
And what was the pasuk that we used to prove the 4 generations that ended Laolam Va'ed?
Poked, in what? In the Averot or in
In the doing good deeds.
לא ימוש תורה מפיך ומפי זרעך ומפי זרע זרעך עד עולם.
Rabbi Andy asked us to wait a minute,
Okay.
please.
So the Gaon continues and says the following. That's in the Kitvei Yad. He says like this: Yad leyad lo yenakeh ra. He says like this. On what ra are we talking about? Is someone that does bad ben adam lahavero. Sorry, you hurt someone on purpose. You do bad to someone. Lo yenakeh. Lo yenakeh, says the Gaon, there's no mehila, and he will have to pay midah keneged midah, and right miyad. That's why he said miyad leyad, yad leyad, miyad yad leyad. Right away, midah keneged midah comes and strike. Now he has a question. You could say, but one second. En adam nogea bidvar havero, elokim lo nima. You cannot hurt anyone if HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't decree. So why is the person being punished for doing bad to someone if anyways that's what the guy was supposed to get? נכון? Very good question. The answer is, הרבה שולחים למקום. הקדוש ברוך הוא has many ways to punish the person and to make sure the person gets what he has to get. But the fact you chose to do it, and you chose to do the ra, you took now, right? That behira is as if you did the full action. Now you initiated it, and you've concluded it, so it's all on your head now. So it says the Gaon, the Ra that we're talking about is essentially the decision to do bad and following through with it. The pain that the guy got from your action, he was supposed to get anyways. But the fact that you choose to do bad, this is what incriminates you in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And makes you now culpable to be afflicted the punishment of Midah keneged Midah right away. And for that reason, says the Gaon, because this is a choice that you've made, it's a decision that you've took, you put yourself in those shoes, it continues in the generations to come that are yours.
Wait. Sorry. We spoke
Yes.
about generations with regards to
both. פוקד עוון אבות על בנים, על בני בנים, על שלישים והרביעים. That's the punishment.
Wow.
And we spoke on the flip side of, Ken?
The being saved from.
That's right. So essentially, let's take a step back and put back things in perspective. You have Mr. X that need to be punished. He did, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to punish him. He did something wrong. Now the Mr. X is going to be punished either way. But comes Mr. Y and decides that he wants to do something bad. He wants to hurt that guy. He wants to shame him. He wants to steal from him. He wants to hurt him. Whatever it is. Your actions have nothing to do with the outcome that that Mr. X is going to get. So what is in your hand? The choice that you and the actions that you've done, not the outcome. For that, the person is punished, Midah keneged Midah. You made a choice and yielded actions. This is going to generations. And what is the Ra? The Midah keneged Midah is now HaKadosh Baruch Hu also will make a choice to activate Ra upon the person. The person made a choice to activate and do Ra. HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes a choice and he activates to do the Ra. Irrelevant from the outcome of the Ra that came on Mr. X. Now the scary part is that a tzaddik ben rasha is also exposed to that punishment. This is why Shlomo HaMelech says that Zera tzaddikim, we have to be careful to secure dorot, generations of tzaddikim. So that they can be protected. They are now considered tzaddik ben tzaddik ben tzaddik. and they encapsulate themselves with a shield of protection. So that's Midah Keneged Midah cannot come and attack the generations after that. Essentially, this is how you break a curse, a family curse. Now, once I said it again, the definition of tzaddik doesn't mean to be someone that doesn't make any sins or never sinned. It's someone that wants that goes b'derech HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that puts his efforts to go b'derech Hashem. Any questions on this pasuk? It's also a very powerful, very, very deep lesson.
When Mr. Y does something to Mr. X,
Yes.
is his mindset, I'm going to handle punishment for him, and I'm gonna
זה לאו
do
דווקא
whatever
going to
it
have
is?
him punishment. He does something, he's hurting him. זה דבר רע.
Okay, but is it
זה
where
רע
he's
לזולתו. It
trying?
doesn't have to be that he's punishing him. He steals from him. He stole from, why stole from X? Did he punish him? He didn't punish him. He stole from him. He shamed him in public. He didn't punish him. He shamed him.
But his
He spoke
machshava
לשון
wasn't.
הרע. He spoke לשון הרע. He spoke לשון הרע. You understand? It's not a thought of coming and punishing the other. That's not it. You do something even that benefits you, but you hurt the other guy. You don't care about hurting him. Okay. I want to make sure this is very clear, because this explains Tzadik Veralot, Tzadik Vetov Lo. We need to make sure that we understand the mechanism.
Mechanism is understood, but it's a very difficult concept.
Because
Human nature. We get into this internal battle that maybe you were the one, when something bad happens to you by somebody else, the instinctive reaction, the human, is to react and shame him potentially.
Nachon. But that's now you're approaching the situation from a different perspective, from the perspective of the abused.
What's the difference?
No. Now we're talking about the abuser.
The person becomes the abuser.
Okay, nachon. So instinctive, that's a different avoda. That avoda is to recognize then an adam nogea bidvar havero kimlo nima. Nobody can do you wrong or hurt you unless HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted the person to be hurt. So that person that being hurt has to separate to look at the situation and separate it and say, listen, the Rasha that hurts, he's a Rasha. But the outcome was coming because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted it to come anyways. So now let me introspect and understand why the outcome came, and do teshuvah and learn from it. That has nothing to do with what the guy did wrong. Yes.
We are in the assumption that something wrong comes to something that hurts the person comes from something wrong. Could it be that something that hurts the person, it's a top from Hashem that is good for you, that has no root?
That's absolutely, but that's different already. Now, here we're talking about nachon. One second.
But you never know
Yeah.
which is which.
Correct. This is why, on one end, you cannot point your finger at the person that hurt you, because at the
Because
end,
you
it's
don't
really
know.
not him, because you don't know. No, for sure, you cannot point your finger at him, because whatever he
Yes.
did has nothing to do with the
It's his
outcome.
issue.
It's his issue, and the outcome is your issue, right? So that already is clear. Now, when it comes to you, yes, it's how do you look at it? Now, I have to do teshuvah, or it's although it hurts, but it's I need to have emunah that something good is going to come out of it, right? So
Anyways, I have to do teshuvah.
so anyways,
ways.
there's good come out of it.
Okay.
Nachon. It's true. It's emet what you say. Now, why did Hakadosh Baruch Hu send it? Because of a punishment, or because it's something good tomorrow? Who cares?
Who cares?
That's the cheshbonot of Hakadosh Baruch Hu. You need to do teshuvah, and you have to have emunah that only good is going to come out of it.
Simple.
That doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. That doesn't mean it's not a challenge. That doesn't mean it's not painful. But this is the approach you need to have. First, I do teshuvah. Second, I know be'ezrat Hashem it's only for good. And this guy put me in this planter. Okay, what do you want? You cannot go after him. It's his problem that he chose to be the Rasha. But me, I have nothing to do with him. I mean, it solves a lot of social issues, huh? Oh, Hashem.
Amazing, Rabbi. Thank you.
So we did Pasuk Kaf and Kaf Aleph.
Spectacular.
Miss you.